What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Sidebar, Cancer. I totally started off. Welcome to the Jared and friends. I'm just like, geez, get it together, Justin. And happy birthday, Cancer. If it's your birthday today, we're just going to do it out of order today. But happy birthday, it's your birthday, Cancer. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Cancer. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Also, happy birthday. And Cancer, it is Celestial News Monthly. Ew, Cancer's that time of the month again. Celestial News Monthly, and granted, kind of sucks to see getting out of our birthday season. But I hope you still got another another week and a half or so, Cancer. So definitely live it up. We still got a little bit of time, but we're gonna talk about let me tell you what's going on, Cancer. This is a monthly spread. And with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where all the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. So, Cancer, I have oracle cards laid out for each of the zodiac signs that the planets are in. I'm going to pull an oracle card from this deck for each one, and then we'll get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And then, in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, in which I got to include this new one, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching, Cancer, so go ahead and give them a watch. Great little group, kind of switch up the energies, get a different vibe. It's super cool, so yeah, definitely go show them some love. But let's talk about this party that Leo's getting ready to throw here, Cancer, because the sun is getting back home. The sun is going to be entering into Leo, and then Venus is about to do her retrograde dance in Leo too. But the sun is going to enter on the 22nd of July, and we'll at about 8:50 in the evening. And I want to say when I wrote this, this is Central Time, Cancer, so Central Time, and then and we'll be in Leo until the 23rd of August. And with this energy, Cancer, this is really great for just getting out and doing some just fun things for yourself, for playing, creating, and loving. Leo and the sun, they both are associated with the 5th house, and that's a really lovely house. To tap into that. It's like after you've formed that security in Cancerian energy, now you're safe to really express yourself. It's a lovely energy, and this is a great energy too for rejuvenating yourself, with life and experience and having fun. It's just we're in a very creative kind of because things have been just, I don't know about you, Cancer, where, I do love our birthday season. The last few months have been energies have been a little rocky here. So it's almost like we're kind of getting almost like just a fresh blast of sunlight, just kind of and that might be something too, Cancer. Get outside. Go bask in the sun and Leo and all that stuff. But also, on the same day, this is going to be, granted, it's going to be a lovely time with the sun being in Leo, but this might be a little trickiness with Venus going, the Empress, doing her retrograde dance, because she's on the same day, the 22nd, will be going retrograde until the 3rd of September. And with this energy, Cancer, retrogrades aren't bad energy. They're about reflection. And this is a great energy for finding different avenues to express yourself. Whether that be through spoken word or poetry or mechanics or math or, just in whatever avenue that you find yourself where you can kind of connect back to source, really tap into that kind of intuitive side of you, Cancer, and really kind of get lost in that space. And, it's great for creating spaces for discovery of for self and self-love and really becoming the artist of your own life, and with confidence too, because Leo energy is all about that confidence as well, taking that courage. You know, the sun is never afraid to shine. It's really great energy. The one thing with Venus retrogrades though is that Venus having dealing with relationships, there may be some kind of past relationship. This doesn't just have to be with love, just maybe some people that we haven't spoken to in a while. Maybe someone reaches out on social media just like, hey, been thinking about you, how you doing. Great time for just kind of being mindful of who's coming back from the past, especially if maybe we had some kind of beef or something. But also really good, I feel like, for reconnecting to Cancer and really kind of creating some maybe revitalizing some bonds, you know, feeding some, you know, some of that solar energy back into our relationship. So just something to think about there, Cancer. But let's get to your first card here. And Cancer looks like, oh, we might be going on a travel here. Let's see, Cancer, because you got the 6th card of Geminis here, which is the Train card. And with this card, this is a card of moving on, life's journey, new endeavor, going away, one direction, on track, focus, on time, keep going forward, going with the flow, inflexible, steady to climb, no resistance. Yeah. And so the energy that's kind of coming through here, Cancer, is the going away part of this. It's like the life's journey in the going away. And I'm not sure, maybe for some, we are in this place of where we could be physically moving, you know, maybe we're going away somewhere, like as far as like, this could be a travel, but this does feel more so like we're moving, you know, like maybe creating I don't know, like it's like we're creating like a new opportunity for ourselves, whether it's like maybe we're starting a new job, maybe you just want to just kind of start fresh, maybe, you know, been kind of rooted in some place in a while, been feeling a little antsy, maybe getting some wanderlust, but it's very interesting, Cancer, because it does that, or it even feels like that maybe, this could be even too, Cancer, that it's just like even like someone is going away. I'm not quite sure what this is. Maybe this could be like maybe we have some friends moving or some family moving or something that's happening. This could even be, Cancer, even just thinking about this, because Gemini does deal with that sort of like early learning stages of life and, you know, learning communication and things. But this could even feel like maybe for some, if we're parents, possibly even like we have like, you know, maybe children going off to college, or maybe just just flying the coop in general, you know, just very interesting, Cancer. But it does feel that we are in this state of like, we're moving on to a new endeavor, you know, it's like getting on to a next chapter. And there's this energy too of focus, Cancer. So I feel like that whatever this departure is, this could even be maybe like going away of like even like a way of thinking or something along those lines, Cancer. But again, whatever this departure is, I feel like that there's something that's going to open up that's going to become like a new focus, Cancer. This could be maybe we're focusing on ourselves, you know. I'm very interesting energy here. Let's get some tarot on that and get some details, Cancer. Inside of our Cancer, I just got this deck not too long ago, and these cards, where they're super beautiful, they're really long and the most awkward to shuffle. So it's I definitely had to do some practicing, and Leo's reading was interesting at first. I love them though. Don't get me wrong, I do love them, but I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be an experience because my shuffling is already kind of questionable. Alright, Cancer. Oh, throw my stuff at you. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, Cancer, so you have the 4 of Wands, the 5 of Cups, and then the 3 of Wands here. And that's interesting, Cancer, because that's kind of what this feels like. It feels like that maybe there's, with whatever this going on, or it feels like that it's almost like going away to like a, I'm getting like really like a new chapter here, you know, like there's something here that's getting ready to happen, that there's going to be some growth here. Like, I'm not quite sure what this is, Cancer. It feels like that maybe even for some, it's like, it almost feels like maybe even for some we might even be in this state of just like kind of weighing our options here. It's just like we want, there's a move that we're trying to make, but I don't know, Cancer. It feels like that we're in the state of maybe there's some others who are, or it almost feels like that maybe there's, it's like that wherever we're at, maybe whether this be in our physical location or maybe just where we're at on our journey, that just like that feels that there's no longer, it's not providing that same level of joy, or that's getting that same level of some kind of fulfillment or something like that, Cancer. And it's like we're looking to expand on that, to kind of really grow, to see, to maybe pursue even some kind of passion here. The Three of Wands, this is the sun in Aries. And when you give, when we're thinking about that kind of like springtime energy, that gives me very kind of like almost like a little fool vibes, Cancer, where it's like we're trying to change something up here. Let me get a little bit more on this Five of Cups, Cancer. Okay, Cancer. Interesting. So the Five of Cups is clarified by the Queen of Wands and then the Three of Swords. And I feel like with this, Cancer, it's like for some, it's just like maybe we've been in this place of just like, it's like we've known that there's that, it's like we've known that we've reached like a peak here, that there's, like for example, it's like let's say if you live in like a countryside, and then it's just like you have this dream of just like I don't know, owning like a company, doing like kind of big city stuff. It feels like those sort of moves. It's like maybe we've been feeling just kind of sad that we've been, or maybe even it's almost like this state of just like not maybe getting our fulfillment, Cancer. Not, and there's been this kind of like almost like a resurgence of energy here with like the Queen of Wands popping up, and I feel like that's something that maybe it's been either weighing on our hearts, or maybe there's someone that's close to us that's like it's changing up a dynamic here, Cancer. I feel like, and there's some party here that maybe, because I'm getting even like a person may even not even be, it's not that I feel like the energy is just like they don't want you to grow, Cancer, but it's like it's just like maybe they're sad that it's how it's come about or something here. But whatever this is, Cancer, if this is something if this is something with you, I do feel like that this is a great energy too, with Venus and Leo, and honestly with the next energy we're talking about, with getting into next, I do feel like that this could be a time for you again to just kind of find, it's almost like we're rediscovering ourselves again, like finding that self-confidence, really coming into this energy of not wanting to feel held back, because this could be too like it's Queen of Wands energy is interesting. It feels like that there's might have been someone or some type of situation that's been maybe kind of oppressive, or that's just been in this kind of, I don't know, like just kind of like pushing down phase. But now we're just trying to find this, get to that next chapter, find to this very interesting, Cancer. I think I'm gonna leave that there, but yeah, I hope that made sense. And I like that though, because it does give me kind of like Fool vibes, like we're getting ready to start a brand new journey here. So, but let's talk about, but since we're possibly starting some new journeys here, we got to get some details figured out, Cancer. That's perfect with Mars and Virgo. Well, we got Mercury that's going to be in Virgo, and then we have Mars that's in Virgo as well. But Mercury is going to enter Virgo on the the 28th of July, and will be there through the 4th of October. And this is a very, very like productive cycle, Cancer. Mercury rules over Virgo, along with they rule both Virgo and Gemini. And with this, our minds are going to be a lot sharper, especially when Mercury's at home. And it's different than I feel like when with Gemini energy, because Mercury's, I feel like, is a little more kind of flighty, kind of all over the place, still very intelligent. But it's different with Virgo because now stuff is starting to get grounded. Our power to analyze information becomes stronger, communication is clear, and and that's you're just really going to be able to be just very organized, Cancer. Really great time to, if we've noticed things have gotten in disarray, to get stuff, get that sense of order and structure back in your life. But this is something too, we want to be mindful of being like hypercritical and things along those lines. Virgo on an unbalanced end, just because they're considered like the purest of the zodiacs, the perfectionists, trying to bring you to that best vibration, and sometimes in effort to get there, it can be hard, they have a tendency to over critique. So just something to be mindful of there, Cancer. And then Mars is going to be in Virgo until the 27th of August. And with Mars being in Virgo, this is very efficient energy. Mars being the planet of action and energy, this is a great time for us to be thinking about, getting into, if we have any sort of monotonous work that needs to get done, or any little details, any sort of studying, whatever that's looking like, anything that requires a high level of attention to detail, something along those lines. Great energy for that. And also too, Cancer, Virgo is also a sign of service, about helping others. And this could be an energy too, where maybe we wanted to, maybe we're going away. This could be something too. Maybe we're going away to go alleviate, interesting, Cancer, to alleviate some hardships out there, possibly, Cancer. I mean, I like that. But, the nice thing too with this energy, Cancer, is that depending on where your Cancer placements are at, Mercury and Mars are going to be forming a sextile with your sign. And sextile aspects are, after the trine, they're fortunate energy, very easy flow, collaborative energy. But the thing with it is that it's passive. It doesn't have it's not dynamic. So it's one that where it's like when an opportunity is presented for you, it's just like that potential kind of. It's almost like the aces. It's like if you do something with it, you don't. The sextile is just like, okay, but it is a great energy, Cancer. If you work with this, seize these opportunities that may come up for you, things are gonna flow just fine, Cancer. But let's get some tarot on, or get an oracle on this. Cancer. Nice. Yeah, some change going on here, Cancer. You got the 7th card of Scorpios here, which is a universe card. And with this card, I like this card. This is a card of source, infinite, unending, enduring, eternal, creation, awakening, interconnected, heaven, higher perspective, the big picture, all that is, creative force, and law of one. And the energy that's coming through here is the awakening, Cancer. And maybe this is something where this going away. Maybe this is more of going for maybe it's like we've might need a break, Cancer, or something. There's it's something that the energy feels like that there's maybe even something been kind of brewing in you, Cancer, where we've been again, it feels like if we've been wanting to maybe change up your environment, or maybe we're wanting to even think about getting into in a relationship, or maybe we're getting out of one. But there's something here that it's bringing about this bigger perspective. The big picture is kind of coming into play here, and maybe it feels like that there's been, I don't know, Cancer. It almost feels like that there's been these kind of minor inconveniences or something to get to this place. It's very interesting energy that's coming through here. But this feels like that there's a need to maybe focus, Cancer, on kind of doing some kind of journeying within, maybe just when you find some time, maybe doing some meditation, or getting out in nature, even possibly. Let's get some tarot on this, Cancer, get some details. Because considering all of this kind of Aries energy you got here too, and the thing that's popping in my head with that, Aries is associated with the first house. And that's the house of self, Cancer, and ego. And it feels like that maybe for some there's this energy of, yeah, like, it's almost like we're seeing like a new version of ourselves. Or very interesting, Cancer. Let me get the rest of this tarot here. Let's see what we got here. Ha! There's that more Aries energy here. I'm with it. See, Cancer? There's our ruler. We got Queen of Swords. All right, Cancer, let me tell you what's going on here. Because you got that's a sick Emperor. So you got the Emperor, the High Priestess, the Eight of Cups, and then the Queen of Swords here, Cancer. And the thing, let's talk about this badass Emperor here. Check him out, Cancer. Because with the Emperor, that's what it feels like. It's like there's this energy of like really coming into yourself, or that like there's something that's really that if we were to take this action towards this like new endeavor or something along those lines, that things would really there's a clarity that's coming here, Cancer, with the Queen of Swords being here. And it almost feels like with the High Priestess, it's almost just like that maybe you've been getting this like maybe like a nagging feeling or something along those, Cancer. Like there's been maybe you've noticed like that people, for example, maybe at your job, you've noticed a lot of like coworkers that you used to work with that are kind of like maybe going off to new ventures, and then maybe there's this like a sense of longing, or like a feeling of like maybe being left out, or just like, am I really kind of pursuing the things that I want to do, or something along those lines, Cancer. And if that's something that you've been feeling, I mean, listen, I'm not saying like we just need to go ahead and just jump the gun and just give this thing a try, but I feel like it's exploring the option with this Emperor here, like just like even flirting with the idea. Let's say if this was something where because it doesn't feel like it's like for example like a job change or anything. It's just like maybe we've been wanting to, maybe you've lived in the city and you want to move to the country, and it's just like figuring out how we're going to restructure life here. Maybe we're going to get more, maybe we're going to consider if we can work more remote, or maybe even consider like a work job, or I'm not but there is this energy here though. I do feel like with the Eight of Cups popping up here, because this is Saturn in Saturn and Pisces, and there's been a lot of like Pisces and Saturn energy kind of floating around here in the energies the last I'd say the last couple weeks here, Cancer, and it feels like that we are in an energy of change. You know, there's always there's an eclipse usually in this in the Eight of Cups here, and the eclipses bring about brings about change. And I think we're having, if I'm not mistaken, I think we're gonna have is it a lunar eclipse, or I want to say there's gonna be an eclipse in Scorpio. I have to double check on that. I think so. I have to double check on that, Cancer. But there does seem to be, like, if we take this step and kind of let things go here, that there's going to be some sort of like revelation, or some sort of like a bigger understanding about how your role plays in like in the grand scheme of things, Cancer. Very yeah, something very expansive, Cancer. That's fascinating. And sidebar, Cancer, our ruler, the moon. When I'm recording this, the moon is in Aries. So that's very fascinating energy, Cancer. Okay. Yeah, something to think about there, Cancer. Very, very interesting energy coming through here. Let's put you there. All right, Cancer, let's get some tea, and let's talk about this. Oh, hold on, Cancer, we're going to switch up a little bit. We're going to talk about Pisces energy next. And which makes sense, because since you got the Eight of Cups here, because you got Saturn that's in Pisces, and then Neptune's in Pisces, and both of them are retrograding. And I wonder if that's a word, retrograding. But listen, Cancer, because with Saturn, let's start with Saturn. Saturn is going to be retrograde until the 4th of November. And this is a very kind of, this, anything, when we get into like Pisces energy, we really are kind of getting into that kind of spiritual, kind of psychic realm, really tapping into your intuitive side, Cancer, getting into that high priestess energy. And you know, Saturn is really kind of asking us if we're pursuing our dreams, and you know, are we, how in touch we are with ourselves, and you know, what ways can our gifts even elevate society, you know, really bring about some healing energy, Cancer. Because Pisces energy, you know, they're very much about, they take that Aquarius energy as far as like, you know, building that friend group and things along those lines. It takes that air aspect and just takes it to that next level. You know, it's like we go from like a group to like a soul tribe. So that's where I feel like Saturn is really getting to us to the state of just like really realizing our dreams, and in a sense that I feel like it's one of those things that when you've found that awakening, Cancer, that is going to affect others as well. It's like it's going to have this sort of like this ripple effect or something along those lines. Very interesting, Cancer. And then you couple that with Neptune being retrograde in Pisces, and Neptune rules Pisces along with Jupiter, and she'll be retrograde until the 6th of December. And also very powerful energy for spirituality, Cancer. It's like Neptune usually is, the water's always murky, creates this fog and this, you know, Mercury and Pisces, they deal with, or excuse me, not Mercury, Neptune and Pisces, it deals with, they both deal with like that hidden realm and like escapism, mysticism, things along those lines. But now that she's retrograde, it's like the veil has been lifted, Cancer, and now we're in this real kind of state of, I feel like just like heightened expression and really kind of compassion and really just really beautiful energy. I feel like that Neptune, I feel like if anyone's going to be retrograde, and that can really bring some great growth, Neptune is one. I've been really kind of excited for the Neptune energy. And this also, too, considering that Neptune does deal with that mysticism, escapism, things along those lines, it does shine a light on stuff that we do need to let go of, Cancer, you know, that may be holding you back, that, you know, that's hindering growth. It helps you get eyes on that and how we can focus on healing that energy. But let's get an oracle on this. Okie dokie. Love it, Cancer. You're efficient. But you got the 3rd card of Sagittarius here, which is the Crew card. And with this card, this is a card of in sync, esprit de corps, working together as a unit, team, leadership, co-create, pooling assets, camaraderie, gung-ho, forming alliances, partnership, and team effort. An energy that's really kind of popping through here, Cancer, is the in sync into working together as a unit. But I feel like that unit is not, it more so feels like that it's on a more kind of spiritual level, considering that how this energy kind of started off with, Cancer. It's because it's like, that's even interesting that the word departure was kind of coming up for me there, because it does feel like it's almost like a departure of self, like that, how I was talking about that ego energy earlier. So it's like maybe there's this new, I don't know, this higher version of yourself that's kind of forming here, Cancer. It's very fascinating, and I feel that it's something that it's you syncing up with your higher self, you know, really kind of trusting these instincts. If there's something that's saying that's needing to change, you know, or because this could be something too, maybe with this, because something interesting was with coming through with that 5 of Cups energy again. I feels like that maybe for some, that maybe some people aren't in line with your way of thinking, or maybe this growth that's happening. And I don't feel like it's something where it's not that you're like, it's really, it feels like that it's coming from a place of not understanding more so than that you're making the wrong decision, Cancer. I hope that makes sense, you know, like, but I feel like that it's going to be an energy where this Leo energy may put you in places where you'll be challenged or where you'll be pushed in a sense. And the nice thing of, oh, and I forgot to mention that, Cancer, the nice thing about that, even if we are coming up with some challenges as far as like syncing up here, the nice thing with this energy, Cancer, is that depending on your Cancer placements, this is forming trines with your sign. And that's dope. And so we got, you're not only getting the beneficial one, but we're getting the extra, the fortunate one, you're getting the most fortunate aspect as well, Cancer, because trines are harmonious, they're lucky, create opportunities. It's like they clear the wreckage out and the roadblocks for you just easily to achieve your stuff a lot faster than what you've maybe been doing thus far. Because I'll tell you what, Cancer, I just went through and granted this was a Pluto transit, so this one was a little more intense, but I actually had a situation that needed to be addressed, but it was, how it came about was interesting, but it was easy what came out of it. Like how it was interesting, but it was like how the conversation happened in a way that it needed to happen, but in the way that it came about was so simple. It caught me off guard how easy it was, how that stuff kind of came out. It was, trines are very interesting aspects, but they do work. And so this, I feel like it's like really kind of setting your intentions, Cancer. Like, I'm not sure, really kind of finding that sense of, it's interesting, Cancer, now even that I'm thinking about that, because how you got Gemini and Sagittarius here. Gemini and Sagittarius are opposite signs of the zodiac. And Gemini deals with that, like, learning that early childhood learning, that very curious energy. It's like we're learning about ourselves, getting in that Gemini energy, and then we're transforming, taking what we learned to transform that into higher learning, Sagittarius energy, really that expansion type of energy that and Sagittarius is a very spiritual sign as well, being ruled by Jupiter. Very interesting energy here, Cancer, and I feel like really make the most of that. For absolutely. Let's get some tarot on this. Thank you. Cancer, let's see what we got here. Oh, look at all these lunar shenanigans, Cancer. Oh, and Scorpio. Let's see. And there's the Fool. I'm with it. Okay, Cancer. So you have the Six of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Fool, the Moon, and then the Death card here. And with this energy, Cancer, I feel like with the Fool and the Death card, it feels like that maybe for some, there may be this energy of where we might be going through some, if we haven't been going through some real kind of drastic changes here, I feel like that there is, and it doesn't give me like a state of like where, where it's not like, gives me not like tower vibes or anything, Cancer, but it's just like that there's going to be maybe a lot of growth that's going to get ready to happen here, a lot of maybe new skills or something that's going to be unlocked, or at least just more or a deeper understanding of what is going to, or of who we are, Cancer. And because here's, and like I was telling you, it's like Saturn and Pisces energy has been coming out. The Moon, this is Pisces energy here, Cancer. And it's a lot of water energy here. Now I'm even thinking about it. The High Priestess, the Death card, the Moon. I mean, it's a very intuitive space, Cancer. And maybe I feel like that's what this departure is. It's like the Six of Cups, this Death Fool is like we're departing from the Six of Cups here. It's like we're taking kind of like this old concept of us, and it's like you're rebuilding this thing, Cancer. Because with the Six of Cups, I feel like it can be a card of nostalgia, but we can use nostalgia as a way to create new memories, And it almost feels like, too, the Six of Cups can be like a card of sharing, Cancer. And maybe this is one where I almost feel like with this energy here, it almost feels like that maybe for some it's just like we have this thing that maybe we've been keeping kind of secret. with this. Maybe there's like, it's like we've been making some kind of moves behind the scene here, you know, maybe this, because maybe maybe there's this energy of like, you think that people would be hurt, or that I'm not, you know, whatever this thing is, Cancer, it does feel like that maybe, yeah, like even for some that it's, yeah, like making, almost like playing chess, Cancer, making moves behind the scene. I'm not sure here, but I do feel like that where, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, Cancer, as far as like, you know, if you gotta do what you gotta do, but I do feel that this is something where if this is as big as as this is feeling, then I do feel like that the Six of Cups is saying to find maybe at least one person that we kind of trust, or someone that you are able to talk with about these moves, just to have like just a sounding board, Cancer, just because you got, just thinking with the Queen of Swords being here too, just something to think about, because the Queen of Wands as well, she can be very impulsive. Aries energy, you know, because they're so passionate, you know, sometimes that passion can get them, you know, where they're kind of making moves before we're thinking about it. And so, yeah, I feel like that it's, again, where I understand that we, you know, maybe we want to kind of keep things under wraps, you know, maybe not trying to make like a whole big deal. Maybe this is even like a company move where we're thinking about new jobs or things. And because I'm not getting like a lying energy here, it's just more so just like we're being very careful with maybe how we're talking about things. But whatever this is, Cancer, I do feel like that's a lot to kind of shoulder on by yourself, and it seems like this is a lot of change that may be happening. So just being mindful of just kind of keeping that stuff kind of held in just by yourself, because that is a lot to shoulder there. But one thing too, I do feel that if we've maybe been, because that's a lot of major arcana coming through on that little spread there. It does feel like that if we've, even if for some, if we've been maybe even been afraid with the Moon card, as far as to make a move, because we feel, it almost feels like that there could be this energy of that if we're hesitating on a move, Cancer, it's like we could be using others or using a situation as an excuse to prevent us from moving here, Cancer. And again, you're in a judgment-free zone, Cancer, but I feel like there's nothing wrong with, especially if this is like coming from a place of fear, you know, maybe we're not sure how we're going to get this figured out or whatever that is, but I feel like that it's okay to admit, if that's something that's resonating with you, that it's okay to be afraid, you know, to make decisions like that, you know, making, you know, kind of drastic changes and things. But the Emperor, this badass here, he uses fear as fuel, you know, he lets that motivate him, because fear is not weakness. Fear is strength. It's weakness to admit when we're, you know, to say we're, you know, to deny the fear, Cancer. But a lot of growth, a lot of understanding here. I'm with it. Let's get some tea and talk about Taurus. Because with Taurus, Jupiter's in Taurus, and then you got Uranus that's in Taurus. And Jupiter will be in Taurus until May 25th of next year, 2024. And Jupiter in Taurus is a dope energy, Cancer. I feel like especially if we're thinking about starting something fresh here. It's thinking about that long-term security. If there are areas in our lives where we're feeling, because Taurus deals with security, and that whether that be financial, health-wise, emotional, relationship, whatever that's looking like. Jupiter's thinking about that abundance in the long term. You know, how can we invest in ourselves? You know, where it's not going to be, and that's where I was kind of saying too, Cancer, which is like how talk about the Queen of Wands and all that Aries energy you got. Just being mindful of like looking for like kind of like quick ways out to maybe dealing with the situation here. I feel like this is one where we want to make moves and take risk in things, but make sure that we're being calculated. You know, that we've got at least a game plan here. You know, work with that Virgo energy, Mercury and Mars and in Virgo, that sextile energy, Cancer. And we're kind of in the state of and it's not again to say that we're not getting any kind of short-term stuff, Cancer, but we are thinking about getting those little wins for those long-term wins, for that big picture, that universe that you're manifesting here. That's what Jupiter, excuse me, in Taurus is about. That's and growing and really kind of acquiring knowledge. Let's say if we've been wanting to get like a new house, for example, maybe this is maybe you want to build your own home, Cancer. I had a buddy who I think they ended up doing something like that. I forgot what they did with it, but a lot of that stuff they built was so they had to learn some stuff about that, Cancer. So maybe that's something that we're doing, or maybe we're learning how to grow our own foods or anything along those lines that has to deal with that type of stuff, Cancer, because Uranus, the Fool, has been going to work over the last since about what I want to say. Been there since 2018, and things have changed drastically since that time up until now, and there will be more changes in the future. Uranus is the type that he just kind of comes through just kind of like, blah, I don't like that. Well, not that he doesn't like that, it's more so just like, wouldn't that be careful, Uranus? But it's more so along the lines of like, when there's something that's no longer working, more especially since we're getting ready to move into the futuristic sign of like that age in Aquarius. Pluto's getting ready to, we already got a taste of it, but now once Pluto sets in there next year, there's going to be a lot of innovation. And I have an interesting feeling, Cancer, especially when Uranus makes a move to Gemini, and this is going to be in a couple of years to 2025. This is going to be an interesting, that's going to be an interesting time. I feel like especially for air sign, we're getting ready to get in a very air heavy type of energy as far as like it's going to be a lot of air and a lot of fire for these, I feel like, these next couple years. So it's going to be very interesting, I feel like, what's going to come up here, Cancer. So it's getting prepped for that. It's paying attention to the signs and seeing how we can adapt with this stuff to keep this stability, to feel like we're still in charge here, But let's get an oracle on this, get some details. Interesting, Cancer. So you got the speaking of Gemini, because that's where the Uranus is going to move. You got the third card of Gemini's here, which is, I was going to call this the Jack and Diane card, the Broken Heart card. And with this card, this is a card of heartbreak, interference, sorrow, grief, funk, sadness, mourning, distress, letdown, gloomy, hopelessness, regret, crisis, unhappy, hurt, bitter, devastated, and emotional pain. It's very interesting energy here, Cancer, because it feels like that's kind of tying in, definitely Three of Swords vibes all the way here. And it feels like that, this could be like these feelings maybe could be coming on for a number of reasons, Cancer. So it's like maybe there are some that are feeling just kind of like heartbroken by the, because this energy almost doesn't feel like it's necessarily yours, Cancer. It feels like that this is energy that you may be kind of picking up here, that we're kind of feeling others. It's like, because Cancer, we're powerful empaths, to being able to feel and understand people's feelings to the degree that we do. That it feels like that maybe, how when you go, like, let's say, for example, when you've ever, like, left a job and how if you really kind of form those real kind of tight bonds, how, you're happy about that you're moving on and that you're leaving and things, but at the same time, it's like you can feel that the people want to be happy for you too, but they can't help that. It's a weird kind of place there, Cancer, and this almost feels like that we can put this, like, almost like kind of force these emotions, like we feel like we should feel this way, or that, like, or something along those lines, Cancer. I feel like we want to be mindful of that, where, change in things can be, be sad, they can bring about some feelings and stuff along those lines, but ultimately it is getting you to that highest vibration, Cancer. It's getting you to that Emperor energy, getting things solidified. And where the High Priestess, the moon, she's represented by the moon, where the High Priestess is, because the moon is emotional, that's our ruler. she goes through all the signs, through all the in different phases at such a fast clip, but she still keeps her wits about her. It's still I feel like there's a way to, I don't know, Cancer. I feel like if we're in this, like, if we've been feeling in this state of guilt, or if we've been like, or even just like kind of like putting something off because we don't want to upset a balance or something along those lines. I feel like that we can maybe turn this news of this change into like a, maybe shift the vibe into like a celebratory type of thing, Cancer, where it's just like, yeah, this is, it's like where we're reaching an end point. We're also getting to a beginning. There's, it's interesting, Cancer, because it feels like that we're I'm not. I almost feel like maybe for some others too, when I was talking about earlier how it feels like that we're kind of keeping things under wraps. That's again what this energy feels like. It's like that. It's like we're trying to prevent these emotions from happening, but at the same time, Cancer, I feel like that it's one of those things. Of the longer that we put this off, that, let's say if this is like a move or like a change in where we got someone like, real close friends or something, I feel like that this would be a little more shocking if you had waited until, like, let's say like the week before you're getting ready to do like a big move or something, as opposed to kind of starting now, kind of like, okay, yeah, feel these things, but it's just like, well, I don't have, we don't have that much time. Well, then let's do some hanging out. Let's go on a trip real quick, or this could even be an excuse for you to go travel between friends. Like, it doesn't, I feel like this doesn't have to be where it's like even like a breakup, Cancer, like, it's very interesting. Let's get some tarot on this, get some details. Because maybe some we're moving away from like our home's place, and maybe family's feeling sad, or just like, that's what it kind of feels like. It doesn't feel like that necessarily like a love breakup per se, Cancer, but yeah. Thank you. Let's see what we got here, Cancer. Yeah, Cancer. So you got the Two of Swords, the Five of Swords, and then the Ace of Wands here. And that's what it's been kind of feeling like, Cancer. It's like we've been on, like, just kind of on the fence here about something. Been just kind of weighing your options here. And the Five of Swords, it feels like that maybe... this could either be that maybe with the Five of Swords, Cancer, I'm almost getting like an envy type of energy that's coming through. Not maybe jealousy, but like it's almost like that maybe for some we're thinking that others are going to not really celebrate our moves, or like really just kind of bring this down. Let's say like, okay, well, let's say if you wanted to move to, like, I don't know, Arizona, and you're really excited about it, but then you go to tell you think, but if you were to share this, that people would like, oh, Arizona, it's so hot, it's so this, it's so that, like really kind of cutting it down as opposed to supporting this energy, or like, in Cancer, this just feels like that. And not that other people's opinions don't matter, but I really feel like that this is one where we might be in the state of, and just if we're not in this, it's like if something comes up like this, where it's just like we may be overthinking this things a little bit. It might be where we're taking others' opinions and feelings maybe too much to heart, and putting yourself on the back burner here, Cancer. And that it may seem like it's selfish, but I feel like when it's coming to your growth, whatever this awakening is, and it's one thing that if it's gonna be for your growth, Cancer, you know, I feel like it's really, again, trust your high priestess senses, trust that intuition. You got the energy for it. Because here's the thing, if we decide to stay, Cancer, let's say, you know, decide to put your dreams off for a little bit longer, something along those lines. It's not that you won't. I don't. You know, abundance. I feel like what's meant for you will not. It's not going to pass you by, but it gets harder to achieve when it's like how we're in like all this sextile and trine energy right now, where things will get easy, or you know, where things are easier to operate. But if we wait a little bit longer and the energy start moving to like squares and oppositions and things, well, there may be some delays. Then you can still achieve what you want, but how we go about it is going to be completely different, you know, and it just may require more effort than we had initially thought. So that's something to, because you know, Cancer, if there it has been a lot of maybe kind of oscillating or something along those lines with the decision, then maybe it's not the time yet, and that's okay too. Like I feel like there's, because that could even be something too where we're feeling this pressure to change something. I'm not quite sure what that is, Cancer, but I feel that there's no need to be, there's a sense of just like that Virgo energy maybe being hypercritical or something along those lines. It's just like I feel like we can be kind to yourself, Cancer, and you will know when it's time to make that move. The High Priestess being here, when it's time, when you know, you'll know. But I do feel, Cancer, just something to keep in mind. You know, I wouldn't tell you what to do, but sometimes with the Seven of Swords and the Moon being here, it can be, you know, like ways that we like trick ourselves. You know, it's like almost like how the ego kind of like talks you out of things. It's like when you want to pursue your dreams, it's just like then the doubts kind of kick in. It's like, well, what if I can't do this? What about this? What about that? What about that? And if anything, it's just like, okay, that's good that we have all these problems laid out here. It's just like, okay, now how do we provide solutions to them? You know what I mean? Let's fight. Let's challenge that that voice in your head that brings this energy here, Cancer. All right, Cancer. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I like this stuff. It's very, very. Let's get your last oracle card here, Cancer. Oh, actually, let's talk about Capricorn energy. Just about to jump in. We're not even going to talk about Pluto, and that's how you piss Pluto off. Because you got the last card here, Cancer. You got Pluto that's in Capricorn. And Pluto's retrograde right now. Pluto will be retrograde in Capricorn until the 10th of October. And this is asking yourself, Cancer, because Capricorn, our opposite sign, is about achievement and ambitions, prestige, you know, materializing your dreams. And Pluto and Capricorn is a really kind of strong placement here, because it's just like it's asking, you know, if there are any areas that you don't feel like an emperor, that you're not feeling in charge, if you don't feel like you're the best version of yourself, or this, you know, what does that look like to you? You know, what can we do to achieve that? How can we connect with that inner source, that inner emperor, that person who wants to, you know, what is that dream looking like, Cancer? Because, you know, Pluto deals with that power, you know, and also that death energy, Scorpio energy, that death and rebirth, you know what I mean? And this is, it's like it's you know, asking ourselves, what do we need to let go, whether this be maybe different, maybe ways of thinking, you know, maybe this could be vices that we have, you know, maybe this is relationships, situations, living conditions that we're in, but it's just like what's hindering that? How can we grow from that? And then even on a more bigger scale, you know, when we said the outer planets, you know, they really do affect us on a generational gap. You know, it's real kind of big energy when the outer planets start moving. And Pluto being the furthest planet away, you know, it's not getting nearly as much sunlight, is bringing the darkness to the light here. And so you're going to notice that a lot of, because Capricorn deals with like authorities and governments and things, so you may notice that there's already been a lot of changes that have been going down with governments, and just a lot of secrets that are going to be revealed here, Cancer, over these next. It's going to be in a very interesting time, I feel like, for the collective, especially once Pluto really kind of sets in at home for Aquarius next year, around Aquarius season. So, you know, we're in I really feel like this next, honestly, up until this time, we're really in a time of really like kind of defining ourselves, Cancer, really kind of coming into who you want to be and figuring out, what shadow work do we need to do with this moon card here so that we can get to the next card after that, which is the sun, Cancer. But now, let's get some tarot on this, get some details. See what we got here, Cancer. Interesting. Okay, so you got the second card of Pisces here, which is the Flamingos card. Fascinating, Cancer. This is a card of soulmates, lovers, union, courtship, dating, attraction, seduce, long-term potential, displays of affection, charm, it factor, two of a kind, alluring, and je ne sais quoi. In Cancer, the energy that's coming through is the long-term potential. And I feel like that's what this Ace of Wands is all about here. Because the aces are like the seeds. It's planting their potential. And it's like, what do you want to do with this energy long-term? Where do you see yourself channeling this? What does growth, expansion look like for you? There's a lot of deep questions that we're getting ready to that we can start asking ourselves, Cancer. And I really feel like, too, especially with Neptune being just retrograde in Pisces, because that's benefiting all of us, sure, but it's especially, potent for the water signs, considering that's happening in Pisces right now. And yeah, I really feel like it's in two, tapping into that Jupiter energy, like that combination there of growth and spirituality and expansion, and just like really thinking, like really kind of just getting this train, getting us almost kind of reminds of the chariot, Cancer, getting this chariot on track here and seeing if we can get things to thinking about just seeing how we've invested our energy up until now. And if you don't like something that is going down, whether this be a diet, maybe we're not getting enough sleep, maybe we want to work in more hobbies, maybe you want to do more travel, whatever. So like, how can we do that? What can we do? What resources can we tap into, get into that Queen of Pentacles energy so that we can make this stuff happen here, Cancer. Let's get some tarot on this. And last little bit, Cancer. More potential here. I'm with it, Cancer. I like the, look at this magician. Alright, Cancer, so you have, I like this. You have the Six of Pentacles here, the Magician, the Nine of Wands, and then the Ace of Pentacles here. Now, let's switch back over here, Cancer. Because I like this. Because it's playing that garden, Cancer. It's like we're taking that energy, that Ace of Wands, and it's like now we're making that manifest. We're getting ready to tap into that magician energy and really start cooking up some change. Start making some moves here, Cancer. Seeing, again, paying attention to how situations how you've been giving to situations and how they've been coming, what energies and what resources have been coming back to you. And if it hasn't been that flow like if things don't seem to be matching, Cancer, then I do feel like that, let's figure out how we can redirect this energy. And this is going to be something I do feel like it's going to take some work with this Nine of Wands. This is the moon in Sagittarius. And I bring that up to say, Sagittarius energy also deals with like that optimism, that drive, like how do we keep that high spirits in the face of adversity, and how do we keep the thoughts and things at bay, keep the doubts from getting in your way, Cancer, of waning that, or of diminishing that energy. But also too, I feel like the Nine of Wands, again, just thinking with like the Eight of Cups and just like where just the planets are at right now, just really paying attention to just how things are, maybe how your energies are responding to things, you know, and just like if something really kind of just like maybe it gets you like overly stressed, you know what I mean? I feel like there's one thing to be stressed at your job, to have like, you know, where things are busy, but if it's just like let me get a little more with this Magician here, Cancer. Thank you. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so the Magician is clarified by the Page of Cups and then the Seven of Cups here, Cancer. And so you really are in a place where I feel like you can create a lot of opportunities, Cancer, with the Seven of Cups here. It really gives me a sense of like coming into this heightened state of just like of productivity, you know, where it's just like you set your mind to it and then you're taking action, you know. It's just like it really, because sometimes I feel like maybe when we talk about like, you know, manifestation and Magician and creating this stuff and, you know, like abundance being around, it is, but it's just like working with the energies. It's just like, okay, you want to move, for example, let's see what start like signing up for like getting alerts maybe in your emails as far as like, you know, different properties that come up around the area, or maybe think about setting up a trip for the place that you want to visit, you know, or yeah, maybe even start applying for jobs. But it's just like it's taking these feelings and then Ace of Pentacles, grounding them, and then putting that, you know, putting that action. It feels like we just need to kind of heat this ground up a little bit, really kind of get things cooking up, Cancer, because I feel like you're in a great place to do that, you know, and to really get what you want to done. And the thing is, Cancer, once this energy's passed, it's not like it's gonna go away or anything, but it's like getting used to that drive, you know, paying attention to that, and then really feel like it can be one for abundance for you, Cancer, or be a really prosperous one for you, Cancer. But one more thing with the Knight of Wands, just because with just this seems like this level of change that may be coming your way, I will say, you know, again, just be mindful of your energies. And this is not medical advice or anything, Cancer. We're making sure that we're getting some rest, and because that Nine of Wands can also be like my card of recovery, and just making sure with all this energy you're exerting, just get some rest in between there, Cancer. So all right, I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. But yeah, I hope that made sense. That was an interesting reading. I liked it, Cancer. But if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this thing, Cancer. If you know someone who's, because there's a lot going on here, but I feel like that it's almost like you just kind of coming into this energy of like standing your ground, or just like, I'm not sure. The Emperor really kind of came through strong today, Cancer. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's like you're reclaiming some kind of power here. But I'm about to get back to your reading, so tell that Emperor, and you Emperor, to if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each week. And then I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer, and I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And as the group grows, I'm going to start posting different guided meditations, healing affirmations, binaural beats, things along those lines. Maybe doing a taking charge with the Emperor, or going void of course with the High Priestess of Lunar shenanigans with the Moon. I'm with that. I kind of like that one there. But definitely check that out, Cancer. And then lastly, Cancer, if you don't know by now, I made a whole other channel for you just because I love you so much, and my sun signs in Cancer. But if you have any Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, which I hope so since you're here, since you have Cancer in your placements, let me change that. Since you have Cancer in your placements, Cancer, come on over to my other channel, The Jared and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. Absolutely discuss lunar shenanigans ad nauseum. It's a good old time. And all that housekeeping, down in the description box below. But before I get your surprise card, Cancer, I just happened to look back at that unicorn back there, that's Ralph. He, a Scorpio, oddly enough, gave this to me for my birthday. And fun fact, Cancer, that unicorn has things inside of it. It has 3 gifts in it, and there's no opening to get into it. I'd have to cut into the poor unicorn, and I'm just like, no. No, I'm not playing your sick game, Scorpio. So, just a little fun fact about that. Nature, my problem. Let me get you some prize cards here, so I can get you out of here. Interesting, here's hubby. Look at you. Got the King of Swords here. And I like that, Cancer. Because I feel like that's what's coming, is wisdom. Whatever this awakening is, whatever these choices that we're getting ready to make, it's going to get you to this place of... Oh, both. Oh, nice, Cancer. We get 2 here. Look at you. But, interesting. But it's going to get you to this wiser state, Cancer. It's going to get you to... Yeah, like there's this really kind of deep level of understanding that I feel if we start taking these steps towards this change, that I feel like things are going to start making sense, Cancer. And then, but the thing with the King of Swords, though, in order to get that wisdom, it's taking what we've learned and putting that to action, you know. And then for your oracle cards, you got the Witch Bones and then the Protect card in reverse. And with this energy, Cancer, the foundation, if something feels not solid, you know, like it gives me, the Witch Bones in particular gives me more of kind of like a spiritual imbalance. But if we just feel imbalanced in our, again, either our material needs, or maybe there's in like relationships, or maybe this is in whatever this is looking like, I feel like it's paying attention to that energy, tuning into that intuition if something is telling you to heal and protect your energies, you know? Because I feel like the longer that we ignore these signs or something along those lines, Cancer, that puts you in an area where, and listen, this is not me trying to scare you or anything, but I feel like higher self likes to keep things in-house, but when we don't respond, when we don't take that Mars energy, that Emperor, the Aries energy too, and put that into action, then higher self is just like, because higher self gets it. It's just like there's sometimes where we feel like we can't rise up to an occasion. And so higher self will just kind of shake things up a little bit. It's just like, well, this is going to be for your growth, so I'm going to give you a little push, and we're got you. We're going to be with there along the way, but we got to figure this thing out, Cancer. And that's what I feel like is maybe just something to pay attention to over, you know, just over this next month or so. Just kind of really tuning into yourself and, you know, kind of get to where you're working together as a unit with you and your higher self. Very kind of lovers vibes, where it's just like, you know. But I think I'm going to leave that there, Cancer. So, yeah, I hope that made sense. Very, very, very intuitive reading, I feel like, for sure. Yeah, very, seems like a lot of subtle energies, Cancer. So, yeah, when you find yourself a little calm space there and think about this stuff. But you stay safe out there. With your travels, possibly, you know, maybe we're going, whatever this is looking like, Cancer. Yeah, just be safe out there. You raise your vibration through the roof, Emperor. Maybe meditate under the moon. You know, we're getting to that, like, we're getting into, like, that, we're in that last quarter phase right now, almost getting to the new lunar cycle here soon, so who knows, Cancer. And, you know, Cancer, speaking of lunar shenanigans, the new moon is a great opportunity for you to plant new seeds of ideas. You know, it's a portal of manifestation. So be thinking about that. When you start the new lunar cycle, 17th or 18th, I think it's the 18th of July. So check that out, and I will catch you on the next one. Well, hopefully if you come over to the Chariot and Friends tomorrow, but if not, later.